Welcome into the newest episode of Side Mission. I, like always, am your host, Rusty today, joined by just one of the boys, Thacker, and we are talking about, brace yourself for this, a fucking sports game. We are talking about NBA 2K23, the newest release from the NBA 2K franchise. And I'm not going to lie, as someone who is a massive fan of 2K, for anyone who doesn't know, I literally own every one of them except 2K4 and 2K5. I'm still looking for those, and I know Thacker is trying to help me find those as well. I absolutely love this 2K so far. I've spent about 25 hours on it, and I'm really pleased with this 2K. I haven't really liked a 2K this much, I would say, since 2K16. And 2K16 is widely regarded as one of the best of all time, up there with like 2K11, 2K10. I know that 2K, I think 2K19 was pretty solid as well in everybody's opinion. But it's definitely been a few years for me since I've really loved a 2K this much and wanted to grind a 2K this much. Thacker, you don't really play sports games because you're not really a big sports guy like me. Obviously, sports are kind of my job. But talk about just your overall thoughts of this game. We'll get into specific game modes in a minute, but what are your overall thoughts on this game?
So, as you said, I'm not a big sports gamer. Growing up, I played, of course, my FIFA because I played and ref soccer.
Yeah.
I played a little bit of MLB just because my brother was big into baseball, and I figured it was something me and him could bond over. So much luck on that now, but but no, it's just one of those that, like, I think my first non-family video game was NHL back at the old house with you, actually.
Yep. I remember that.
After that, it was MLB last year.
Yep, I remember that. We played a little bit of that together.
And then Madden this year, and now 2K. This is actually my first 2K.
I will say, Thacker, one thing I've liked about having you on the podcast, and this is not a shot at Matt or Kyle because they both have given these games a chance in the past. I like that we've started going after sports games a little bit because, one, I love 2K. I enjoy Madden. I enjoy NHL. 2K is really, and I enjoy the show, but 2K is really like the one I love. But I like that we're actually branching out a little bit and going after sports games.
Yeah, and it's, if you listen to anyone who listened to the Game of the Year episode last year, you said it best, Rusty. We all stepped out of our comfort zones.
Yes.
And I think that's one really great thing that we still do. We push each other to step out of that comfort zone. Because I'll be honest with you, I never thought about picking up Madden or picking up 2K. And if it wasn't for joining you guys with Side Mission, I probably still wouldn't have picked them up. But I'm stepping out of that comfort zone because I'm realizing, like, there are more games out there than just COD, Overwatch. For those who want to judge me, Minecraft and Terraria. But not like I'm enjoying it. Like, I love how we all push each other to step out of our comfort zone.
Yes, I agree. And I think that, I would say for anyone who is looking for a good 2K to get into, I really think 2K23 is it. Like, I think 2K23 is a really solid 2K and probably one of my favorites of all time. And I know there's probably people in the 2K community that hate it because the 2K community is all over the place. Some people love it, some people don't. It's just kind of all very subjective as what you do and don't like. I don't know. I personally like this game. I do think that, if you listen to the Madden episode with Noah, I think that this definitely has some of the same issues of Madden where it's really hard to innovate a sports game because there's only so much you can change and add in. But I think that this, and it does sometimes it relies a little heavily on animations, but I think that gameplay as a whole, this is the most solid that 2K has been in a long, long time. And I think that, if you look at just the basic play now mode, it feels it's fun to pick up and play. It's a fun mode to pick up and play when you're just trying to kill like 20 minutes, or you're just like, let's say you're waiting on like your food or your dinner or whatever, and it's got like 20 minutes in the oven. You can just kill some time there, and then by the time the game is over, your food's probably ready. That's probably a weird ass analogy, But, Thacker, I know Play Now was the first mode you played. You unlocked like 7 trophies when we were playing it. It was kind of crazy. But, like, talk about the basic gameplay because I feel like it's really good.
So, like, with it being a sports game, I've never really expected me to have that much fun, especially with quick play. It was one that I ended up hopping into the game, and of course, I chose the Grizzlies just because I grew up watching them. But with that, it was just a lot of fun because I felt like I was actually doing something with those like 7 to 12 trophies I unlocked, but I also enjoyed it. It was fun. I cannot remember the last time I sat down and played a sports game and had fun at most. Like, yes, of course, me being a gamer, like it was always enjoyable, but it wasn't like true enjoyment. It was like, okay, it's a video game enjoyment.
Yeah.
This was true enjoyment for me. I enjoyed it. It was fun. I got to learn new mechanics and everything, and I definitely now have more respect than anything for any of the 2K community. And of course, we'll get more into why of that in one of these other modes. But I have respect for you guys. You guys definitely put in the grind and the time and the money for this game. So quick play was fun. I think I just don't ever want to hear somebody come to me and be in an argument and be like, you know what, let's settle this over 2K. I hear that too much. Rusty, I'm sure you've probably handled something or two over 2K.
So I have a funny story about that.
Oh no!
I have a funny story. So my boy Darius, he's been on an episode. He was on the Last of Us Part 2 episode that we did way at the beginning of this podcast. When we were in college at Middle Tennessee State, we've only played each other 3 times ever, and I've beaten him all 3 times. And Darius is good at 2K. Like that's the thing, he's good at 2K. And one day, this is the second time we played, I jokingly told him it was right after the game had come out. We both had it, and I was like, you keep talking all this trash, Darius. I'm going to beat you by 30. And he goes, all right, bet. We played. We were like, all right, loser buys lunch. And I actually beat him by 30 after calling my shot like I did. The funniest part of all of it is that was on Xbox. And for those who don't know, on Xbox, if you're listed as online, if you're playing 2K and you're in a game, it'll tell your friends what the score of the game is. So his friend, I think it was his friend Rob, messaged him. He goes, damn, Darius is getting his ass whipped. Because he was down by like 25. And it was really funny to me because I had no idea that like your friends could see that. So that was really funny to me. But yeah, I have definitely settled my fair share of stuff over 2K.
Fair. Yeah, I don't want to have to settle anything over 2K.
I'm not that good, so don't worry. I got really lucky that game.
my let's settle this over X game is let's settle this over COD 1v1s.
See, I would have thought for you, I would have thought it would be Mortal Kombat or Injustice.
So COD is usually my go-to, just on the simple fact of everyone plays it and it's fair. Whereas with fighting games like Mortal Kombat, Injustice, not a lot of people play those to the extent that I do. So I at least want to keep it somewhat fair and not have my ego stroked that much.
I feel that.
Keep in mind, this is also Thacker, the guy whose whole persona is his ego, but still. hey, you can't roast if you can't roast yourself, you have no business roasting anybody.
I agree. That's fair. Well, the thing is, so moving on with 2K23, so I haven't played as much My Team, and I know you haven't hardly touched it at all. Like, I think that combined we might have 1 hour on it. And that's still...
say that.
If that, yeah, exactly. Like, probably a lot closer to like 30 minutes. But I will say that with My Team, every year with 2K, I keep wanting to get into My Team, and the problem is that it's very pay to win. Like, if you want to grind the VC, you can. but it's very pay to win. It's a lot like Madden Ultimate Team, Hockey Ultimate Team in NHL, FIFA Ultimate Team. It's a lot like all of those, where it's like fantasy basketball pretty much. You buy cards, and those are the players you get to use, and you have you put those players under contract, and you have them for X amount of games, and the better cards that you have, the better you can play. The better chance you have to win, especially if you're not as skilled. You can win with lower level cards if you're really skilled at the game, and there are plenty of people in the 2K community that have done that, and that's why I will say the 2K community grinds harder. Them and the Madden community both, they grind their games a lot harder than just about every other community out there. And I'll include the COD community in that. They grind these communities, they do, and I feel like, especially for a new player, if you're not as good at the game and you have low level cards, you're just not going to really enjoy it all that much because it's not going to be all that much fun. You're not going to want to play online that much, and I don't know. I wish it wasn't as pay to win, but the mode as a whole, I guess it's fine. It's not the best, and it's not really my cup of tea, but it's fine. And I think you agree with that, Thacker.
No, I would. I wish we could have had somebody on who spent more time on my team and everything, because I shout out to Noah on the Madden episode.
Yeah, he killed that episode for sure.
Finding out more about Madden Ultimate Team, that was intriguing to me.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have somebody on for this episode who knew more about it. So I don't know. Does Darius know much about it?
Well, he hasn't had much time to play the game. I know he wasn't able to get the game until he's had the game for about a week, whereas we've had the game since launch. So I don't know. I never really. I know he also is really busy during the day with work, and during the days when we record a lot of these episodes, just because it's when we've all got time. But yeah. I mean, my team is cool. It's cool. I don't know if he's really a big My Team guy. He's a big My Career and Online guy. Franchise mode, or My GM mode, is kind of the same thing as franchise mode in Madden. It's a lot of fun if you can get into it. It's a lot of fun to go really deep. It can get a little repetitive, but I think that's a fun mode. The mode that shines in this game, though, in my opinion, despite having some issues, is the My Career. It really shines here. I want to get one of my issues out of the way really quickly, and then we'll move on from it. I absolutely hate your rival in this game, Shep. He's annoying because, and I feel like a lot of 2K, a lot of My Career, it has this problem. In past My Careers, and that when the analysts would or the reporters would talk about you, they would talk about you based on how you played. So if you're playing really well, they would talk you up. If you were playing really bad, obviously they wouldn't talk as positively about you. In this game, I had a game where I dropped 60, and Kendrick Perkins, who, to be fair, Perk is not the best NBA analyst on ESPN. He's probably one of the worst, and he's an NBA champion, so I can't really go too hard at him. To be quite honest, to be quite honest, in this game, it's very accurate to how he is in real life. He's just kind of a hater. He's your number one hater. I dropped 60 points, and he's still in there saying "Oh, he's nowhere close to Shep Owens," and I'm just like, that's cap, because I just played against him. I held him to 10 points, and I scored 60 on him. So that's not true whatsoever. You are completely off with that. And it's this, and with Shep's trash talk, it's kind of the same thing. It's like, I'm playing great, and he's sitting here talking about me like I'm playing like trash, and I'm like, my guy, I just made 15 threes in a game. I shot 15 of 18 from 3. I'm playing lights out right now. You're out of pocket.
No, and it's true. Buddy of mine from high school posted on Facebook not long ago, talking the same stuff about it. Literally saying he pulled up uploaded a picture of each stats for his and Shep Owens. I get that he's supposed to rival you and kind of compete numbers with you.
Yeah,
but it's not there.
It's not there at all.
Because and shout out to Devontae for actually showing me this, but it's just not there, man. In his My Career, he had upwards of hundreds and everything like that, where Shep was barely scraping 70 or 80.
Yeah. It's frustrating, man. It's frustrating when you feel like the game isn't really tailoring to how you're performing. It's frustrating, but I will say that's probably my only real critique. I remarked on this, Thacker, when we've talked about it when we played the game, that to my career, God, if only I could have shown you my career back in like 2K12, 2K11. Like, dude, my career is so much bigger now. A lot of people are like, why is this game's file size 160 gigs? It's because of my career and how big and expansive it is now. And, the city, in my opinion, despite some really bad frame rate issues, it's really, really cool how 2K has turned into this open world kind of game, because that's not a game you really think about being open world. And I really like that aspect of it. I like the aspect of the different districts, the business district, the fashion district, the music district, and then obviously, the this game's version essentially of Rucker Park. I think it's Hammond Park or something like that. Thacker, I might be wrong. It's something like that, but it's essentially this game's version of Rucker Park in New York. I really like all the stuff they've added, because it feels like you don't just have to play games over and over and over again to get a lot out of this game, because there's the skateboarding missions, there's other things that go on, there's the missions with where you go and you meet up with J. Cole in the music district. There's just little things like that I think really, really add to the value of this game. And it's, again, just a sign of how big 2K has grown and is growing. And while there were moments where I was like, why am I having to do skateboard tricks? And why am I having to grind these rails? And why am I having to do this, that, and the other? There's also an equal amount of moments where I'm like, this is a refreshing change of pace. It's very easy for sports games to be repetitive. It's very, very easy for them to be repetitive. It's the exact reason why Madden is no longer on my PS5. It's the exact reason why I deleted it. So the fact that, I've put as many hours in on 2K as I have, and that it's grown as much as it has, I really like a lot of the changes they made, a lot of the stuff they've added. I feel like it really adds that variety of gameplay. It really adds to that replayability. And I'm a big fan of that. So that's just how I feel about the My Career. I think this My Career is one of the best that we've seen to this point.
Yeah, not like it's. You can definitely say like this game is huge. There's so much to do in it. And Rusty, quick question: what system do you have like the 2K11 and 12 on?
Dude, so those are on the PS3. Those are on a system that is not nearly as powerful.
I have a PS3. You have a PS3. So next time you're in town, you might have to bring those just so I can at least see what they look like.
Dude, it's vastly different.
Whew, I can only imagine, but not like there's so much to do in My Career, and as somebody who enjoys the adventure style games, I actually enjoyed My Career so far this year. There are of course some things that I'm just not a fan of at all. I don't like the like winning over the city missions, such as like the rap battles, the fashion trivia. Like I'm not a huge fan on that, mainly because like I'm a metalhead, so
yeah,
the music trivia just was not hitting for me.
Yeah, and basketball has always been more about kind of that hip hop, pop kind of stuff like that. It's always like metal, and that's really just all 2Ks. You even go back to the older 2Ks with their soundtracks. Hip hop and rap are always very prevalent. There's a little bit of rock in there. There's a lot of pop in there, just stuff like that. So I feel that.
Yeah, and I mean, the soundtrack's amazing. Like
Yes.
I'm enjoying it. But even on the fashion stuff, like the most expensive piece of fashion I have is a Calvin Klein overcoat. That was, get ready for this, a gift. I didn't even spend it myself. The most expensive thing clothing wise I spent for myself was a pair of like $200 pair of Doc Martens that plot twist I got with an employee discount. So like fashion's just not there for me either. But with that, I'm not the biggest fan of that stuff. but it added to it. So I enjoyed it. I got to see more of like why people spend so much time on my career. So I enjoyed it. I'm enjoying it. I will continue to enjoy it. I think my biggest thing is I finally broke. This is one game that is now on the list. Tabby, if you're hearing this, you did not hear this. Don't listen to this episode, please. But or at least just don't listen to this part. But 2K is now on that list of games I have joined the microtransaction game because I now have more respect for those who on early release dropping $400 or $500 on VC. I now understand why.
You get it now.
I get it. I get it. I have probably spent between $30 and $50 on VC.
See, that's crazy. I really would have thought I would have been the one that spent more VC on VC. I've spent like $30 or $40 on VC, so we're right there around the same thing. We haven't gone crazy, but I do know. Yeah,
yeah. I think I've bought like two $20 packs.
like I know people that have spent a lot of money on this game. I know people that have spent a lot of money on this game.
And like I just said, like release night, the early release for my store, I had somebody come in and drop $500 on VC alone.
Yeah,
And when I
that's
asked him,
wild.
he was like, "Well, I have two sons, and both of them are going to want it." So I figured the game itself is $70, and he got the Michael Jordan edition, so $100 there for both copies. That's bringing him to $300. So extra $150 worth of VC for his kids. I wish I had that kind of money.
Same.
Like, I want that kind of expendable income. Maybe then I'd actually own a house instead of renting. But
It's kind of wild that people have that much expendable income to spend on VC. It's kind of wild, but I will say, I do like that the VC is not completely pay to win. It's not just about upping your attributes. It's also about like the whole customizability of your player as well. Like the different clothes, the different shoes that you can rock. I mean, obviously, I rock more J's than anything else on my career, but I've always loved the customizability ever since like they've gotten into this more open world style. Thacker, you asked me what the biggest difference was in the older games. Dude, there never was anything. Your player was never just out walking around. It was literally just going from menu to menu and going from game to game. That's literally it. That's how much the game has changed. And ever since they've kind of gone to this more open format where, you customizing your player actually matters, I've appreciated it a lot more because now the customizability is through the roof and it's something that a lot of other games can't get right. And 2K does it well. In my opinion, they do it well every year. So I get where it can sometimes feel like it's pay to win, but I don't think it is nearly as much as, say, Madden. Madden feels incredibly pay to win. My team, even on here, feels a lot more pay to win than my career does. But I think that this My Career is absolutely one of the best ones they've done. I like 90% of it. The 10% I don't is literally just Shep Owens and Kendrick Perkins. Which is kind of funny when I hear myself say that out loud. But I think this is a high quality 2K.
Like on the customization, like I don't think I have bought a single thing customization wise. I think everything that I am rocking my player with right now is stuff that you just can get from doing the story.
Yeah.
Right. So like that $40 worth of VC I've spent mainly has gone into attributes.
Yeah.
So, like, with that, like, Rusty, quick question. What team did you pick for my career?
I picked the Timberwolves because for my player, it felt like the place I could go to and get the most playing time right away. And I made a point guard which is weird because now I'm playing shooting guard. Like, I'm starting now, but I'm not even playing point guard. I'm starting at shooting guard now. But it works. It works for my play style.
Fair. Well, if you made it this far in the episode, you probably already know. I picked the Grizzlies. It's just that nostalgia of growing up, going to games, sitting courtside, watching them. I enjoyed it. So I picked the Grizzlies, and with me not knowing a thing about basketball, I picked a power forward.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was doing. I just picked something.
Well, it all works out because you're playing really well now.
Yeah. Feel free to at me about it. I promise you, I have no defense. It'll be like beating a dead horse, but feel free to at me for it.
Oh, I'm sure people will. 2K community is very loud.
I'm sorry, 2K community. I'm new. I'm trying.
But I think that all of this goes back to say I think that this 2K23 is one of the best 2Ks of all time, in my opinion. I think it's a top 3 2K. That's just me. I'm going to make that controversial statement now at the end of the episode because you've already listened to it, and that's okay. But that is going to do it for this episode of Side Mission. As you probably have noticed by now, and you've probably heard us say this a couple of times, we're on many different platforms now, not just Spotify. We're still on Spotify, but we are also now on Apple Podcasts, Deezer, whatever the hell that is, Google Podcast, Amazon Music, Samsung Podcast, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, all different kinds of things. Just be sure when you're searching us, you don't want to pick the Side Mission that has 94.7 on it. That is from the older days of Side Mission. The other one, the one that has the graphic with me, Kyle, and Matt on it, that is where all of our new episodes get posted. We also have TikTok that Thacker runs. You can follow us there as well. We have Twitter at Side Mission Pod. We're on Facebook at Side Mission Podcast. Thacker, what's the TikTok? I don't know because I don't have one.
It's just Side Mission Pod. It's
the same as the Twitter. Okay, gotcha.
If you want to see the games that we're playing and just how bad or sometimes how good we are at it, come see.
That is true.
Clips too. If you want, you can see Rusty make some ridiculous plays on Madden as well.
That death loop, I know I had some. You can also see us acting like complete buffoons on Elden Ring, which was really funny. That's from months ago.
We got your death loop ones up there too now.
Yep, I saw that. I was pleased with that one, so that was cool. But you can get some more content from us there as well. That's going to wrap us up for this episode, though. He's Thacker. I'm Rusty. Thanks for listening.